Good afternoon and welcome to this edition of Prophecy Notes. This is Brother Wayne Claybaugh coming to you from the front seat of my pickup truck, giving glory to Jesus and thanking Him for this sunshine, even though it's about ready to blind me right now. Praise the name of the Lord. He said that He would give us the proper lighting that we need. I don't know if I've got the proper lighting today or not because I can't see you. I hope that you can see me. But we're going to just go ahead with it and give God the glory. You know, He can work it out. I'm not going to worry about that. What I'm concerned about today, we've been talking quite frequently about, over the last 3 years, the race card with regard to our current president, Barack Obama, and how that it plays in. And so many people were just dumbfounded by the fact that now they had a black president, and they didn't know how to respond to it. They had all kinds of reasons why they didn't like Barack Obama, but what it came down to was that he was a black president. And in this particular election, it seems as though many of the people are more concerned about the economy than they are about abortion and about the marriage being between one man and one woman. I found that to be very interesting and intriguing. But something else that has really risen to the top of the barrel here has been that of faith. We no longer have a race card involved this year in our candidacy as we run for president, at least on the Republican side of things, but we do have a faith card. What troubles me more than anything is the coupling, if you will, and the discovery that I've found here this morning with regard to the faith of Newt Gingrich. Newt Gingrich used to be a Baptist, Southern Baptist, who has converted since he married his current wife, Callista, who was a lifelong Catholic. He has converted to Catholicism and, of course, has given all the proper reasons why that he felt he should convert to Catholicism. But what I'm seeing is trouble abrew. And why I say that is, if you remember in one of my first broadcasts that I did with regard to the Pope, stating that he felt like that molestation of children was okay. I'm not saying that Gingrich thinks that. I don't think he does, and I think probably that he would take exception with any man that would say so. However, he is a Catholic, and in that particular broadcast, I mentioned to you that there is a movement, an international reform movement called We Are the Church that began in Austria back in 1995, that has a different idea of what they want for their Pope and for their church. And I would say that if Newt Gingrich, who says now that he is a converted Catholic, and his wife, who is a staunch Catholic, and we all know the power that women have to play and the push that they have in our lives as men, I would think that as the Catholic Church goes, so will Newt Gingrich's ideas with regard to abortion and some of the other things. What really troubles me is some of the books that he has out, like Rediscovering God here in America, and worrying about a country that will be atheistic and yet governed by Islam. And I just wanted to read here what this group, this We Are the Church group, has to say with regard to what they're looking for in a new Holy Father for their church. They say that most of all, they need a Bishop of Rome, speaking of the pastor of Rome or the Pope, who is a visionary leader who promotes a profound discernment on church ministry by all the people of God and calls them to consider the possibility of welcoming into ministry all those qualified, whatever their gender, marital status, or sexual orientation. Let me continue. They want for their Holy Father to be a respecter of the consciences of Catholics, who calls forth a genuine public dialogue on the theologies, moral teachings, and policies in the Church. A leader who recognizes the cultural pluralism of the Church and celebrates the diversity that flowers in different parts of the world. Goes on, an ecumenist who engages in serious challenge, a student of religious traditions other than Christianity. Did you hear me? other than Christianity and Judaism who welcomes interfaith dialogue, a lover whose arms embrace the world and whose policies express a special solidarity with the poor and the oppressed, a lover of the earth who recognizes and promises the integrity of all creation. Well, that would explain why he had the little ad that he did with Nancy Pelosi with regard to global warming, which he says that he doesn't agree with. However, he did do the ad, and many are saying that it's going to come back to haunt him. I believe that's already happening. There's too many questions in the background of Newt Gingrich right now, his current background. I'm not going back to the fact that he had 2 wives before his current wife, Callista, but let me read here to you what this particular article says. It comes from the Huffington Post, and it's written by Daniel Burke in the Religion News Service. He says, the twice-divorced former Georgia congressman has labored to assure conservative Christians of his fidelity to traditional values. Yet just 11% of white evangelicals and 16% of white Catholics favor Gingrich as the 2012 Republican presidential nominee, according to a March Pew Research Center poll. Gingrich has also explained his religious conversion on Tuesday to National Catholic Register, a publication owned by EWTN, a multimedia Catholic network. He says the depth of faith and history contained in the life of the Catholic Church were increasingly apparent to me. He went on to say, slowly over a decade, the centrality of the Eucharist in the Catholic Mass became more and more obvious to me. Gingrich also noted the spiritual influence of his wife Callista, a lifelong Catholic, and that of theologian George Weigel, and of course Pope Benedict the 16th. Now, what I'm trying to say here, and I don't have much time to say it, is I think that we need to be doing some looking into whether or not the faith card will cause a problem in the future, or if this all fits in nice and tightly with the New World Order. Be back in a moment.
Let the word be proclaimed. The message we sent to receive and repent, for he's coming again. The hands on the clock.